Alright, I'm back into the duck. Now I've finished off my Waffen Trager. If you want to see pictures of that, just go onto Facebook. Under my handle on there is just MJ Rising. Excuse me, my name on there. Alright, so cleaning up. I've cleaned up the seam joints, sanded back. I've re-scribed some areas. I still got to do the top. Yeah, no issues. I just used CA glue with this the filler powder, which is probably just talcum powder, but hey hey, just it dries quicker than just the CA glue straight, and it's easier to sand. It's easier to sand than straight CA glue. You can see I've started to put photo etch on the float there. So you got a bottom plate, and then on top of that plate there's these small round pieces go on top, but you have to press them down to try and make them dome shape. So I'm just using tip of a paintbrush on my cutting mat because it's got a bit of spring in it, and just working it around. So I've put them on. I've still got to put, I'm a bit iffy about these tiny little, look like little wing nuts there. I'll give it a go, but that's something I'm not confident that'll stay the journey. Probably get bumped off. So I've got to put, there's a few bits going on the sides, a couple of little plates. That big one on the bottom of the float, which would sit there, is no need because it'll be displayed in water. And oh yeah, so when I do the wingtip floats, wing floats, I'll have to put some more photo etch on them, but this photo etch is a bit more easier than the coloured stuff in the cockpit. I've put the engine together on the photo etch, and the wiring harness is a bit, how you going? Once it's painted, I guess it'll do the job, but I don't like, this is another reason I don't like the photo etch for the wiring harness, because it's just flat, two-dimensional, but it's better than nothing. The kit has nothing, so I'll take that as a win, I guess. I've cleaned up the seam joins on the wings, bottom wings, buried here somewhere. There it is. I mean, sorry, the top wing. So that's done, but obviously not up to that stage yet. So with the engine, you just need to make sure the exhaust, they sit a certain way. They got the photo etch pieces and went on there as well, so you had to sand some detail off, surface detail off the plastic part to put the photo etch on, so that they are at the top of the engine. So when it sits on there, that they're towards the top. So you just make sure you line up the exhaust. They do show it in the instructions anyway, but make sure when they go in, because one's longer than the other, that they sit even at the bottom, otherwise you won't fit your cowl. It's got the slots for the exhaust, and there's a slot at the top, which this has got to go on top, but I've got to clean it up. It's two halves, so I've got to clean the join up, make sure there's no gap. What else? I still need to thin the sides here for that canopy, but before I do that, when I finish scribing, I'll take this tape off and do a dry fitting in to make sure that how much I need to take off. And to do that, I will just probably use a scraper. Hope, maybe, depends if I can get in there and not bump anything off. I may not be able to. What else have I got in that department? Not really any. That's the best one I've got, I think, in the scrapers. Just, I like that one because it's got the nice curved edge on it. I have something like that, but that's not really helping the situation. Sort of make it at a flat spot, but yeah, I'll see. Well, I'll just use a scraping tool. I got some, what is that? I could just use that and then put the curve back in. I don't know, I'll see how I go. I'll come up with something. I don't think it needs a lot taken out anyway, but it will need some. So once that's done, it's starting to really be done, completed for the build part of it. I've also noticed, well, that's the scheme I'm doing, and you can see there's nothing, no antenna or anything on there, yet when you look at their box art, there's bloody antenna masts everywhere. So I have to have a look. I've had a quick look on Google Images, and there's so many variants of this aircraft, so I'll probably do something like this box art. I'm guessing that that's near correct, whoever drew that up. So I'll add a couple of masters. There's one top of the wing as well. There's nothing in the kit for that I saw anyway. Well, yeah, there's nothing in the instructions, so there's no call out for it. Oh, and the bomb racks are photo etch as well, so let's see how they go. This is the instructions for the bracing wire photo etch set I've got. Can't wait for this, that'll be really exciting. So that's that set. At least they're labelled, so that'll help. But I'll need to, I haven't really read through this properly, but I'm pretty sure that the assisting somewhat here as to where to put the holes, and I'll do that obviously while the wings are off, drill the holes, and then once it flips over on top, I'll be able to put them in. But yeah, that's not up to that yet. But anyway, I'm just sort of waffling on. So I'm going to finish cleaning up this fuselage and put in the rest of the photo etch that needs to go on that, and then that part of it will be complete. And I'll need to paint the window frame and lip there, so that when I put the clear part in, that's just to make sure you don't see grey styrene through the frame. The frame should cover it, but just in case, you want to make sure you don't have that going on. I've got most of the photo etch on that I need. That dome section, I've put one of those wing nut tiny pieces on, but I haven't done these ones yet. I'll just wait till I'm finished handling what I'm doing. I have to put, there's two handles that go on this side. Bent one to shape, but I'm not putting it on yet because I'm still doing the getting the canopy to fit. So with the canopy, I've found another scraping tool. So I'm just using this edge. I started with the curved bit at the back, so I took a bit off one side gradually until I was happy with the fit, that it was lined up, and then the other side until it was lined up, and then I come in with this bit of sponge just to smooth it off, and I'll need to do a bit finer work to polish it up. So I did that end, then I did up the nose section, the windscreen section, same again, just either side. And I've done this side. It's nice and flush. I've just got to do the starboard side. So I'm just doing from that corner of the windscreen back to there, just even along, because it's an even step all the way along. Just trying to make sure I keep that curve going on there. So that's why I use the scraper and then come with the sponge. The sponge just conforming to the shape of the fuselage. I just did a dry fit. The stabilizers, see how they go. It's a pretty good fit. Nice and firm. There's a strut that goes from the tail to the stabilizer. What I'll do is, before I glue that part, I'll cut off that piece, sit it in there. Hopefully it fits good, and then I'll glue it here to the fuselage, but I won't glue the strut in. I think it'll be easier to paint off and then come and put it in later on, just for ease. Otherwise, trying to spray angles on that and you get that vortexes happening and making a mess. Alrighty, so I've got the canopy on and the windows in. These windows, really, you can probably get away without using glue. They're real firm fit. I just put a tiny little drop of crystal clear on each ledge, just to make sure, but I think they'll sit there anyway. But canopy, so I've masked it up with Tamiya tape with the light behind it so I could see the framework, and I've used a piece of tape to hold it while I put the crystal clear around the bottom of the frame, and then I can use that as a handle to line it up and just wipe away the excess with a damp cotton bud. And you leave that handle there till it's completely dry, otherwise if you try and take it off you'll move the canopy. So you can see the engine is on and the cowl. A wash will pop detail on there. I'm not worried about painting different colours in there. Tying the propellers on there, you won't see much. So that's that. As you can see, I've put the stabilizers on. They're not glued in, but I'm hoping I can get them out. I haven't checked. I should be able to. Yeah. So they're pretty. Be careful with that. Don't bend them, but they will come out. It'll be easier for painting, like I mentioned before. And I've built one of the floats up just to see it's not glued in yet. I'm just doing a dry fit, see how it sits. It lines up all right, so that's a bonus. So I had another read through this. Really starting to dread when I get to this stage, because it's like they're saying about problems with the kit. Problem with the Merit kit: the fuselage cabane struts not being able to be joined where indicated on the fuselage surface detail, meaning you cannot pre-drill for the bottoms of A and B, which is the two upper short ones that go from the upper wing to the fuselage where the strut mounts. But as for the kit's lower wing, it appears to be approximately 2mm too far forward, meaning lower placement of D and H, which are the large ones that go from the upper wing to the wing root, from top to bottom wing root. And was it D? Is another one that goes from the wing root up to the inner strut. D should travel straight down, but if you want to place the bottom more forward where it should be, it will be sadly angled. And you cannot change the bottoms of H to move forward, as they would then foul the travel of G. So that sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, I'm not there yet, but I'm not far from that. Put those little wing nut things on, see how they go, if they survive the process of painting. There are heaps of extras, but if they keep coming off, I'm just going to leave them off. It's so tiny you can hardly see them. Yeah, so nice bit of progress on that now. I can start hooking into it now. I'll finish that tank. But that is it for me for today. Wind down Savo and back to work tomorrow. So next weekend I'll get back into it.